Welcome to episode 383 of the show. Today, I'd like to go over something that I've spoken about in the past on the podcast. Actually, I've spoken about it a few times, but sometimes these serious stuff, the fundamentals, the real practical stuff, the nitty gritty, sometimes we can't overemphasize them because we often forget. And we often forget with dire consequences, as we will demonstrate today. So, what is this old thing that I keep rehashing? And that is the CRM, the Customer or the Client Relationship Management tool. Again, CRM, Customer Relationship Management. Some people say Client Relationship Management. I've come across some newer, different acronyms, but it's all the same. There's a tool that is going to allow you to manage the relationship between you and the customer in a nutshell. So, of course, it's important for obvious reasons because when you're looking at things from a day-to-day management perspective or a day-to-day sales perspective, when you're speaking with clients, it's good to have something that keeps track of where you are with the specific transaction and the clear next steps for both of you and what the customer is supposed to do as well. So when you are in the thick of things and having a conversation with a client, well, first of all, there's going to be several clients because very few people do business with only one person at a time. So you're speaking to Miss Ogedengbe right now, and you're speaking to Mr. Kunle, and you're speaking to Madam Obi. And these 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 conversations are running at the same time because you call one person today, you email another person tomorrow, and you text another person the day after. So you need a tool to be able to keep track of what it is that is going on. You need to be able to look at something and realize that for Ms. Ogunegbe, you guys have had lots of phone calls, but you haven't had that first meeting to go over samples. And that for Madam Obina, you have gone over samples and she has approved what it is that she wants, but you guys are not finalized yet on what the pricing is. And that for Mr. Kunle, you guys have agreed on the price and you have sent over the invoice, but he hasn't made payment. So there has to be that thing that you look at that tells you where you are in relation to everybody else and how everybody is in relation to you. That, okay, Mr. Kunle is owing you some money. You need to take the next step, and that you owe Madam Obina something. You need to send her the invoice, and you owe Mrs. Ogedengbe something. You need to call up that meeting so that you guys can look at samples. Now, the reason why having a CRM is important is because you can't run all of this using your brain. It's just not possible. Because even though the brain is a powerful computer, we often forget all these details until it becomes painfully obvious. Maybe it becomes the end of the month and you're worried about paying NEPA bills or servicing the car, and then you remember that, oh, Kunle was supposed to have sent me an invoice. But by that point, it's kind of too late because Kunle was supposed to have, sent you an invoice, made a payment. At that point, it's probably 3 weeks past, and let's face it, if you've been speaking with a client, you guys agreed on payment, and the last that any of you followed up on that was 3 weeks ago. Let's face it, especially in this sort of industry, in the wedding and the event space, chances are Mr. Kunle has probably gone along with someone else, and so that's why it's important to have CRM. Let's keep track of where we are with specific transactions, specific conversations, and something that gives us what the clear next step is for what you have to do and what the customer has to do as well. So, we can't overstate that this is a useful tool for growing and for managing a business. Now, the other benefit of such a tool is that it helps you manage the relationship part as well, because you use your CRM to schedule follow-up and follow-through items like I've spoken about here in this case, which is you're scheduling the meeting, scheduling the samples, sending up the invoice, reminder phone calls and stuff like that. But then the CRM also allows you to schedule personal stuff and to keep track and reach out on around personal developments and career developments and stuff like that. So if you're a wedding photographer, CRM is going to be useful so that you remember to call in and say happy anniversary or how are the children doing or blah blah blah, because those are the things that allow you to keep relationships with the customer, with your clients, that now bring out other opportunities for you to deliver value in the future. So you keep track of personal developments that are going on, anniversaries, birthdays, things of that nature, and career development when they get promoted in the office or they move to another job, and then things like that. And then also to schedule the other stuff, all that Niger stuff, when you reach out, you say Happy Christmas, Happy Easter, Happy Ramadan, blah, blah, blah. So you schedule all of these things using your CRM because you can run this with your brain, and that is true. But once you have more than 2 or 3 customers, it gets pretty hard. So for most of us listening to this podcast, it's going to be easy in the beginning when you only have 2 clients. But by the time you get 3, 4, 5, you actually need something that is some CRM that's going to help you with this. And at this point that I repeat, something I've also said in the past, that the CRM doesn't have to be fancy computer software. Now, if you have computer software that runs this kind of thing, then yeah, that's good. So for those people that use Salesforce, for instance, like my brother, he works with a company that they have to use Salesforce, and it's a really comprehensive software. But you don't need anything that comprehensive or anything that expensive, because the license, okay, I can't remember how much the license fees are, but it doesn't have to be anything that fancy. The reason why is because your phone, the modern phone, is a rough and ready option, especially when you pair it with your native calendar program or other apps that you can easily download on your phone. So, just in case I didn't make it clear enough, your phone is okay as a CRM, especially if you're using your phone in conjunction with your calendar or with some other thing that you can easily download, like Evernote, Trello, what else? Google Notes. If you're using a Windows phone, okay, do Windows phones still exist? I think they do. I think Windows phones are now Nokia phones. So if you're using one of those Nokia window things, then I think it's is it Office Note, OneNote or something. So if you pair with any of these programs, then your phone is a really good CRM. Now, why should I repeat all of this? Because lots of businesses are operating without one, or if they have, there's no one in the business who has the clear responsibility for updating the CRM and for managing the CRM and for reaching out to customers. So let me repeat. The reason why I'm going to have to keep saying this over and over again is because there are lots of us out there who are running businesses without a CRM. And even when we have one, there's nobody whose clear responsibility is to update it, to manage it, and to reach out to customers. So some people have CRMs, but they haven't made it clear that you, Mary, you're responsible for updating this thing, and you're responsible for checking it every day, every week, every month, or every 2 months, and action all the outstanding things here. Now, because we are either running a business without one, or if we have one, we're not, there's nobody whose responsibility is to manage it. We are actually dropping relationships, and we are creating friction in the relationship with our customers, and it's going to help us, not help us, actually. It's going to cause us to lose money over the long term. Now, this is an example, and that's the reason why I'm making this recording today, because my fulfillment partners recently changed their address. That's fulfillment on the photography end. So where I make my books, get photos edited, what else? Get frames made, stuff like that. So they changed address, and I wasn't notified. I'm assuming also that other customers were not notified as well. And that's because I had some things to do. My son was not feeling well. Took him to the hospital. The hospital is close to the center, and I figured let me just swing by and get some stuff done. So I go there, and then lo and behold, the place is locked up. Now, since I like doing business with them, and I like being proactive when it comes to these things, I have the phone numbers of several people. I have the phone number of the owner, I have the number of the manager, I have the number of the secretary, I have the number of the editor, and I have a number of 2 or 3 of the machine people. So I put out calls. Eventually I'm able to reach someone, and they tell me that they've moved, and they send over the address. But, the day is already far gone. It's on the other end of town, so I figured let me just go home. We'll do this tomorrow. And so I left. Now, what a lot of us fail to realize is that points like this are points of attrition for some customers. Now, some customers who are going to get there, and they'll be baffled by the whole thing, like, what? These people have disappeared. And then what they're going to do, really, especially if they're pressed for time, is they're just going to go to the next best alternative that they have on their phone. They'll pick up the phone and call somebody else. Are you guys around? And then they'll go to that other place. And of course, you know how doing business is in Nigeria. in the building, usually you're not going to be the only person who offers that service. So for those of you who are lawyers, accountants, photographers, or whatever, and you have offices, studios, you have commercial space, just look around. You see, you're not the only lawyer in the building, you're not the only photographer in the building, or there's probably another one next door. So there's always someone around the corner. And if someone is in a pinch, they might just move on, and because they need the job to be done now, and that's an opportunity for other people to steal your customers. Now, what's the problem with that? All I'm losing is just 40k or 50k or 70k or whatever the value of that business happens to be. But we forget this whole thing about lifetime customer value. So it's not just that you lost 50k now or 100k now, but if this is a good client, a good customer in quote, you have lost that 100k that this person brings every single month throughout the whole year. So when the person moves on and someone else is able to steal that business, actually they haven't stolen 100k from you. What they've stolen is more like 1.2m and above, because eventually most accounts grow over time. So this person that is bringing you 50k business or 100k business, over time the value of that business is going to grow if everything pans out well. So these are points of attrition, and these points of attrition, especially this kind of scenario, can be avoided if only people use their CRM. Now, this is how they should have handled it. And if you're going to be in one of these situations, you're having a change of address or something significant is going on with your business, this is how you should handle it. So number one, you go through your CRM and you see who are my customers. And then you pull it up, and then you see all your customers. I have a really cool way of storing names on my phone. Well, my wife thinks it's ridiculous because it's really long-winded, and I incorporate every single thing that I know about the person. So the name might be stored like, let's say, Kunle, videographer, Guarimpa, really reliable for subtitles, something like that. I know it sounds silly, but anyway, so since I have all these ways of storing numbers on my phone, finding my clients, my previous clients, and my past customers and current clients, that's not going to be hard, because all I have to do is just go into the address book and then type in whatever silly handles that I have for particular kinds of customers, and then it's going to come up and I'll be able to find them. So that's how you handle it if you have a phone. But if you don't have a phone, if you're not using your phone as a CRM, you go into the software, it's going to pull up who all your clients are, and you're going to select who you think the most important clients are. All those people that like giving you stress, that quite frankly you like to forget their phone number, I guess there's no point in reaching out to them. And then you pick up the phone, like I've said in the past, and you make a call. And this is how the call should go. You ring, the customer is going to pick, and you're going to say something like, "Hey, what's up? How far? Long time. How's business? How you guys doing? Fuel scarcity, NEPA, blah, 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 elections." All the typical stuff that we Nigerians are going through right now. And you have all that small talk. And then after a while, customer is going to say, "Omo, this one that you're calling me today, what's up?" That's the Nigerian way of saying, "To what do I owe the pleasure of this call?" So eventually guys are going to get to that point. And then you're going to going to dive in easily to say, "Oh, by the way, we're changing our address, and since you're one of our valued customers, we decided to put out a call to let you know, because we would love to maintain your business. So that's why we're reaching out to you." And then, you guys chat some more around that. You now let them know, "Oh, we're now in the city center, and because of that, the benefits to you are XYZ. We're now much closer to you. Delivering to your office now is not going to be any problem, blah, blah, blah." So you're going to let them know where you are, the benefits for them, things like that. And then, of course, you're going to drive the conversation along some more. You're going to ask, "Would you like to come in to visit, to see the new location, also to see the new product lines that we have in store?" Push the conversation in that direction. And then you're going to try and close on that. "Which day would you like to come in? Our guy is going to be around, Bros is going to be around, Chairman Kunle is going to be around to meet you personally," and then you guys can chat some more, and you see not just the new place, but the new stuff that we have to offer you guys. And that's pretty much the approach that you are going to take. And that's the best way to use your CRM when you come to these sorts of things. You pull it up, look at the history. If you don't have a CRM, or if you don't really use your phones, but you have the software where you keep invoices, pull up your invoices, look at it. Who have we done business with? With this move, who would we like to carry along for the ride? And then you put them across the phone call, and that's the whole idea, basically. Greetings, what's up, small talk. By the way, we've changed our address. This is where we are now. It's beneficial to you guys because of XYZ. Would you like to come in and see the new products that we have in store? What day would you like to come? Kunle is going to be around to meet you personally to show you all the new stuff that we have lined up to move your business forward this year in 2023. Quick, sharp phone call. 5 minutes, it'll be done. It is worth the money that you're going to spend in phone calls, which is not going to be much anyway, because I think typically on average it's going to be like 10 naira per minute or 20 naira per minute depending on the provider. So it's okay. That's not that's not money wasted. Now let's assume that the customer didn't answer the phone. Then what do? Send an SMS or send an email after the phone rings out. And then the approach that you're going to use is going to be like this. You're going to say, Mr. XYZ, this is Susan from Kunle Photography. I tried calling you earlier to let you know that we've changed our address. Let me know when you're available to talk, and I'll call you back. So simple SMS, And then the client, Mr. XYZ or Madam Bingpe or whoever, is going to see it. And of course, she'll ping you, when she's ready to talk. Simple, straight to the point, and email like that too. Or if you're not okay with this whole, let me know when you're available to talk and I'll call you back, you can conclude the SMS or the email differently by saying, the new address is XYZ. I'll call you back later to tell you about our new offerings. Enjoy the rest of your day. It doesn't have to be too lengthy, just sharp. Remember, nowadays people don't read SMSs or email, so people have to be able to open it and just get the message by skimming and without having to scroll. If people have to scroll 2 or 3 times, you've lost them. So let this message be short and straight to the point. And then that's it. So not having a CRM or not using your phone to function as a CRM is costing you money and is costing you clients. Because at points like this, there's going to be attrition and then people are going to fall away. It's something that people know in the online space and take seriously. But for some reason, those of us who function in the real world, we don't take these things seriously. So people in the online space, they know that you're trying to get a customer to pay, for instance. And so if you introduce one more click, X percentage of people are going to fall away and not going to conclude the transaction. And that's why Amazon has come up with this whole, one-click buying thing. So you don't have to click and enter this, click and enter that. You just select add to basket, you're done, and you just click on the buy thing, and then that's it. The order is done. That's because they're trying to limit points of attrition. So let's pay attention to points of attrition in the business. And these are ways that the CRM can help us avoid these sorts of things. So not having a CRM or not using your CRM, and you have no excuse because all of us have fancy phones. We all have iPhones, we all have Technos, we all have Samsungs, and what have you. So if you're not using your phone as a CRM, it's costing you money, it's costing you clients because you're not building relationships. You're not informing customers of your new products or your services that you offer. You're causing points of attrition when you make changes without informing your customers. So let's eliminate all these rough patches where customers can simply walk away and go to the other person who is next door. And you can easily plug all these things if you use your phone as a CRM. So that's basically what I wanted to just vibe on today, because I've spoken on it in the past, why CRM is important. I've even gone into some details about how you can use your phone as a CRM. But just in case you're one of these people, like my fulfillment partners, who maybe you have a CRM, maybe you don't, but it's nobody's responsibility. This is a reason why you should use one. So if you're in this kind of situation where you're a wedding planner or something, let your trainee planners know, or let the secretary know, or whoever, let her know. Every Friday, we're going through the CRM, we're going to see what's outstanding. Who haven't we had a meeting with? Who haven't we sent an invoice to? Who haven't we notified about this? Who haven't we notified about that? And we have to action it every day, or action it every week, or action it every 2 weeks, or action it every month. I mean, I'll leave the cadence up to you, but we have no excuse. If you have a phone, you have a CRM. You use your phone every day, then you have a CRM that you can use every day. So thank you very much for listening to today's recording. I'm your host, Abuja-based sorry, excuse me. Yeah, where was I? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh well, I guess I really should hire an editor so that we cut out all this stuff, all the coughs and sneezes and everything. Anyway, so I'm your host, Tavishima Ayede, Abuja-based sales consultant and event media professional. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you guys at the next recording.